So my name is Conlon. I'm one of the fashion team designers. I kind of got in design. I was always a very visual person. It's kind of like how I learned, how I got into it. I kind of started my career with graphic design initially, did like a lot of typography and at high school, and then from there trying to figure out how I can integrate kind of like visual aesthetics and how I can make a career out of that. And I kind of transitioned, into like the Adobe Flats and starting out with Illustrator, and then from there just transitioned that into fashion design. And then, came here to Maris to really kind of get the grounds in. And actually, my friend's grandmother was the one who taught me how to do sewing, like in her kitchen. And I was like, oh my God, this is like such a great way to like be able to visually stimulate and kind of create these things in a more like tangible way. And then from there, came to Maris and taught me everything I know. And here we are. So my collection is titled Provoke, which is kind of like a Russian iteration of the word provocative. And that's kind of like what I want to capture in this whole collection. A lot of like being very provocative, very sensual, very attractive, alluring, but also kind of aggressive, kind of creating this kind of energy and a sense of rebellion. I took a lot of inspiration from Russian propaganda, graffiti, and a lot of rebellion groups, kind of fighting of like riot police and kind of descriptions of camouflage and military like uniforms and kind of integrating that and kind of trying to find the juxtaposition between the two to kind of create sort of defiance that kind of goes against traditional norms of menswear. It's kind of trying to evolve that. It definitely starts, I think, more physical manipulation. I kind of tried to do 2D things, but then I tend to get kind of lost in that, so I transitioned to doing a lot of physical work on form and going from there. And then once I pull from that, back to digital, kind of seeing how I can manipulate and go from there. Obviously, a lot of visual stimulants and kind of like reflections on things I look for in clothing. I think, the way I kind of go into style and how I want to look for clothes I want to wear, and I think that's kind of reflects a lot of like the collection. My target consumer, I definitely think is someone who's just authentic, like through and through, just intensely genuine, someone who's so confident but doesn't think too much about who they're trying to project towards. They are who they want to be, and they don't care about how people think or perceive them, and they don't want to define themselves in any sort of manner. So the major bases of the prints that I created were based off of like camouflage prints from the Russian riot police. And I kind of thought that was a really cool idea because the whole idea of like camouflage is disguising and hiding yourself. And I think, with acts of rebellion, you want to stand for what you believe in and fight against it. Kind of that same leisure of like hiding yourself behind camouflage. So I did a lot of like fur prints and these different techniques. And I also did kind of like the see-through mesh embossing through the camouflage prints and kind of integrating that in different ways. So one of the main goals I have as a designer and what I want to create this collection is kind of evolving menswear past, I think, a lot of what people think it can be. People tend to think of menswear as just really flat pattern drafting, a lot of trousers and blazers, and I really want to help push that. I want to show that menswear can be beautiful and sexy and intricate just as any other category of fashion.